The basic terms of the proposed agreement, the city would receive title to the McKnight building, and in exchange the city would provide to the current owner of the McKnight building, Mr. Tom Frankel, who is here tonight, the city would provide the Pepperwood building, the parking lot, and I'll show you another diagram, but the parking lot to the north of the Pepperwood building is included in the transaction subject to some restrictions, and I'll go over those in some detail, and a sum of $1.4 million, which is to make up for the difference in the appraised value of the two properties, and I'll also go over that in some detail. This is the Pepperwood building. The parcel that would be the subject to the proposed exchange is the whole area that's enclosed in yellow, to include the building at the southern end of the parcel, to include the parking. To the north, the parking is subject to 4 easements, which are labeled and shown. Most importantly, the parking lot itself, which currently provides 123 public parking spaces, is subject to a parking easement. If this deal is completed, Mr. Frankel would be obligated to provide 123 public parking spaces from that property. There's also an alley easement to provide access to the current back of the Pepperwood building, as well as the Trailside Gallery, which is next door, as well as the property owned by the hotel, the Theodore Hotel to the east. There's also a utility easement, which covers largely the same area that's covered by the parking lot, and an emergency and service vehicle easement, which runs down a couple of the corridors in the parking lot to allow access again to the properties, in particular the hotel to the east, so that all the properties adjoining this parking lot would have the same access that they currently enjoy now. They would all continue to have the 123 public parking spaces in close proximity that people could use that are utilizing the businesses in that area.
Some number of people who live there have purchased how many parking spaces, Dan? Parking credits in that parking lot?
I'm not sure that it actually translates into parking credits, but that lot was purchased and developed with the help of an assessment on some of the businesses in that area. Okay,
and so is the entitlement to those users, is that the 123 spaces that have to be kept, or is the 123 spaces we're talking about not just those entitlements?
The 123 spaces is what currently exists. We would retain exactly the same amount of public parking that currently exists.
Okay. My concern is protecting the neighbors who purchased parking credits in there. Do you know offhand how many parking credits have been purchased by the neighboring businesses?
I'm looking to the keeper of our parking program.
Mayor and Councilman McCullough, as you're aware, there were different assessments in the downtown back in, my recollection is like the 1970s, that did establish several parking lots. But no, I don't have the number for you of exactly how many contributed specifically to that lot. Okay, so in our own mind, are we satisfied that the 123 parking spaces that we would reserve and encumber that property with when we sold it would satisfy all the commitments that we made? Mayor Lane, Councilman McCullough, yes.
Okay.
In all the circumstances, the money contributed for a paved parking lot, and that's what was situated here, and so the money went to those 123 spaces.
Okay.